the Thunderbolts Assemble, Linkin Park reassembles, and then Joel and Ellie try to disassemble. All that coming your way on the NoDak Nerd. Toasty! Hey everybody, what is up? It is Garret back for another episode of the NoDak Nerd, your home for reactions, reviews, and replays. We have got a fun show for you here, and we are not going to waste any time. We are literally hopping right in. So the very first thing that I mentioned, which I'm just going to go in that order, is the new effort from Marvel Studios. Now, I have been sitting on this for so long. They released they released a poster right here, and I did not watch the trailer because I wanted to get my actual reaction for it. I've been excited for this movie. I really appreciate what Marvel has been doing as far as like slowing things down a little bit. And let's not waste any more time with this trailer, and let's get into it.
I click leave on porch. Your subordinates will be reported to DoorDash HQ.
Alexi, it's me. Open up.
Milena? Hold on! Elena!
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about the wait. It was an important call. Highly classified. Lot of work. Many irons in fire.
You feel fulfilled?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so full. So filled. But why do you ask this? What brings you here?
There is something wrong with me. An emptiness. I'm just drifting. And I don't have purpose. I thought throwing myself into work was the answer. When your feet on the air, your head on the ground. Try and spin. Yeah.
Oh no.
Who are you?
I'm Bob.
Who sent you, Bob?
Nobody. You were all sent?
Everyone here has done bad things. Shadow ops. Robbing government labs. Contract kills.
Yeah, so?
So, someone wants us gone. What the hell?
We're brought up with this belief that there are good guys and there are bad guys.
What's the plan?
This could get messy.
But eventually, you come to realize that there are bad guys and there are worse guys and nothing else. Look at you. So adorable.
She's bulletproof. What happened to bulletproof? It's bulletproof-ish.
Is that Bucky?
That's not good.
Okay. Wow, that looks great. Oh, I'm so excited. I am so pumped for that because, like I said, I've been waiting for, Marvel to figure out what they're doing. basically. And it's taken them some time. And between this trailer or teaser and the last one that they did with Captain America, I am super excited for what Marvel is moving into. I have not watched any of Agatha All Along yet, which is now available. I believe there's 3 or 4 episodes out now. Have not watched them. I have been too busy and too tired. From what I hear, it's fine. I haven't heard if it's great yet, but obviously there's not all the episodes out, so it's really hard to judge the show based on what's out. But I do intend on watching that, and I'll get my reactions. That might be something good for spooky season, since I do plan on doing some content for Halloween. I want to watch scary movies. I got some scary games downloaded. I'm going to do some like little plays of as I'm recording. It's going to be great. But back to this movie. So it doesn't shed a whole lot, which is great. And if you've been paying attention to everything leading up to this movie as I have, you know that Valentina, whatever her name is, you know that she's been kind of pulling some strings as these movies and TV shows have been happening to get these guys on the same team. And they showed her in the trailer a little bit. And they've been playing this off like this is going to be a sort of Suicide Squad kind of thing, which is kind of what it looks like in a way. And as someone who knows absolutely nothing of comics for this, I don't know what they're going with. Some other first impressions, I thought that Taskmaster's mask looked really cool compared to the first time. I'm excited for that. That little scene where they're all throwing the knife and stuff was really cool. I am really excited to see U.S. Agent again, because I really liked his portrayal of that character in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They didn't show a whole lot of Bucky, and what they did show of him looks like he's trying to figure some stuff out, and him shooting the limo with everybody in it's a little scary. So I don't know if he's under some of the same mind control from like Zemo. Maybe Zemo's in the back, because remember, he's still out. I gotta stop itching my nose when I'm doing these. Remember that Zemo is still out and about at the end of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and so is the other agent. I don't remember her name off the top of my head. Should have been a little more familiar with this. Ghost looks great. Red Guardian. I love David Harbour. That dude is so fun to watch act, because he's just one of those guys who loves it. He loves to just put all of it into it, even if the source or the material that he's working with isn't great. My example would be Hellboy. I liked that movie. A lot of people did not like that movie, but I thought he was great in it. And I haven't seen the Ron Perlman Hellboy movies in so long that I really can't honestly compare them without watching them again. And I know that the new one is going like straight to digital, which is very disappointing. But David Harbour just sells it every time he's there. He was fun in Black Widow. He looks fun in this one. And with them not going crazy with so many releases at the same time, I feel like they've really got this down. And the one question that's still on everybody's mind is the little asterisk at the end of the title. And when we're watching this last teaser, I was waiting for it to show up, and at the very end it showed up. So there's got to be some significance with it. Overall, it looks great, and definitely we'll have to, I've seen all the Marvel stuff in theaters lately, so this will be another one just to add to that list. And I think they've already got 2 movies set for next year. They've got Captain America, which I believe is in February, and now this one in May. So there's 3 months in between them, which is a little close. As far as I know, nothing else is releasing that's actually MCU. I know Venom: The Last Dance is coming out relatively soon, but that's unrelated as far as I'm concerned, because those movies are just... So there's that. Thunderbolts, May 2025. Excited. Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about is not a trailer reaction. I actually can't really do much with this because of copyright issues that YouTube is really good at finding when you upload videos. But quite a few years ago, we lost actually two huge voices in rock music. And it was shocking. Chris Cornell had taken his own life, and I believe it was a month later. I don't think it was much more than that. I think it was even maybe slightly less than a month, but within a month's time, Chester Bennington of Linkin Park had also taken his own life. And it was rough, because Chester was so tore up about Chris Cornell. I remember that being a thing. He made this huge post about it and how it was such a shock and all that kind of stuff. And it was really depressing. And you have two huge icons in rock music with their voice. I mean, Chris Cornell was behind Soundgarden and Audioslave and what was that group that he had with Pearl Jam guy, Eddie Vedder. I don't remember what they were called, but I mean, that song is huge, and it's hard to deny his impact in music. And I mean, Linkin Park's been around for not quite as long as Chris Cornell, but I mean, their impact in my generation especially was huge. I mean, you had the song In the End, which, I mean, it's hard to find someone who hasn't heard that song. And they kept innovating their music with each album, and some people started to kind of fall off towards the end when they would switch it up a bit, but I always enjoyed it. I thought it was neat to do something sort of different each time, and they would have little remnants of everything in each album, but overall, things like The Hunting Party and what was that one, A Thousand Suns, they had some different sounds to them, and I really appreciated that, them switching it up and going out. And then when the news of Chester hit, I mean, obviously, what do? You have such an iconic member of your band no longer in the band. Do you try to replace him? Do you call it quits? What do you do? And in the lead up until now, there really hasn't been anything. I know that Mike Shinoda went and did his own solo stuff for a little bit. There's a song called Already Over from him that I really like. And you didn't hear anything. And then I think within the last month, maybe even 2 weeks, honestly, out of nowhere, Linkin Park drops a single. And they've got a new singer. They've been teasing, or there's been rumors going around about a new singer testing out for Linkin Park, and people have been throwing some names out and things like that, but nothing really seemed concrete. And then all of a sudden, you have this single release with this new singer. The song was called The Emptiness Machine, and it starts with a drum beat, and then Mike Shinoda starts singing, and he sings his parts and gets through his chorus. And then when the song kicks in before the second verse starts, it kind of amps up a little bit, like a Linkin Park song would do. All of a sudden, it kicks in with a new verse, and it's a female singing. And it's Emily Armstrong, who is from a band I don't think I've ever heard before. And she sings her part, and then she kind of goes to the build up before her chorus, and you hear a little extra rasp in her voice. And then when it's her turn for the chorus, all of a sudden there's Linkin Park again, because it's got the same kind of screaming sing voice that Chester would have. It's not the same, and she's not trying to be him, I don't think. I actually really like the song. A lot of people are pissed, and I think that any feeling at this point is valid because there's people who are huge fans of them, and they're not going to be happy no matter what happens. They're going to say they should have just hung it up, which is a valid thing to feel. There's people saying people need to move on because what are they going to do? Are they all just going to call it quits and either do something that's not going to live up to the name? I mean, it can go any way. But she starts singing. I think it sounds great. And then the actual bridge of the song happens. They do a little back and forth with it. And then the last chorus comes in, and she really just shines on that one, and the song ends. They did release another song last week, too, called Heavy is the Crown. And that one is good. I don't know if it's as good or better than their first single, but I actually really like that one, too. I believe they have a new album coming real quick, too, which means they've been obviously working for a while. And I'm excited. I love new music. I love checking out new things. And I know not to expect the same Linkin Park because they've never truly done that. And I'm okay with that. And I do wish that people would stop having such high expectations for the band because you're never going to live up to them. They're just not. No matter what they do, they could have found any other singer and you still would have been mad about it. So at this point, it just becomes a thing of if you don't like the new Linkin Park, no one's forcing you to listen to it. I do think that people should give it a proper chance and realize that she's not trying to imitate him fully. I mean, obviously there is some similarities with her voice and singing style versus how Chester would do it. It's not quite the same, but it's close. So I can understand that, but I really don't think that they're trying to do a copy-paste of old Linkin Park to new Linkin Park. They're going in a different direction, and that's fine. So yeah, The Emptiness Machine and Heavy is the Crown are their two new singles, wherever you stream music. So if you're interested in checking those out, I would love to hear your opinions, honestly, because, you know, music is that thing that resonates so differently with people, and one person can really enjoy it and the next person thinks it's trash. My wife and I have this conversation all the time about music, that because she hates Linkin Park, but I like them. I got super excited when I saw the new song out, and that's just how it goes. So yeah, I want to hear what your thoughts are on the new Linkin Park. Let me know. Okay, last thing before we get you out of here, and I did not know this happened. This literally just dropped yesterday. This is the official teaser for The Last of Us Season 2.
Oh, you want to start or what?
And a familiar face. Another familiar face.
Let's try something different. You can't heal something unless you're brave enough to say it out loud. Say the thing you're afraid to say. Say it out loud, no matter what it is, no matter how bad. What did you do?
not much to go off on that one. And I guess the only problem with this is I've never played these video games before. I watched somebody playing the first The Last of Us. I don't remember who it was. It was probably Gerard, because I really enjoyed watching the completionist play his games, and I know people have their opinions on him and how he handled all his stuff, and you're allowed to have those opinions. All I'm saying is I enjoyed him as a content creator, and as a Let's Player, I think he did a great job with those games. I believe it was him. I could be totally wrong. I will say that I thoroughly enjoyed the first season of The Last of Us. I thought it was very well acted. I thought it was well shot. I thought it had a lot of heart in it, especially that one episode that a lot of people hated. And overall, it was a good time. If I had any complaints about it, I was expecting an end of the world type show with zombies. And while they had zombies, they were very backseat compared to all the other drama going on in the show. And from what I could tell from this trailer, when all those people are storming down the hill and crash the fence down, they look like they are infected. I could be completely wrong, but the way they're acting, they look infected. So if that's the case, it looks like they are making up for Season 1's shortcomings to me. Because the moments in that Season 1 were great. I just wish there was more. I want zombies. That's what I'm going for. I really wish I had the proper system to play that game on, because I would love to play it. But I don't believe my computer can run it. And I do not have the ability to get a PlayStation. And that's really sad. That's one thing about like console exclusivity that kind of sucks. But I guess it makes up for it when you have something like the Switch that has all my Nintendo properties that I love to death, and I will support them more than any other console because Nintendo games are just that good. I'll get to that in just a second, too, about Nintendo. More so my issue that I had this week. But, once again, this trailer, or this little teaser, looks like it was shot well. They've got the same people back, which is great. They have Catherine O'Hara on screen now, and she's delightful in everything you see her in. And it looks like there's going to be a lot of action in this one, too. And what I will say, too, is I've seen clips from the video game about what happens in the second part of The Last of Us. So I'm not entirely sure how they're going to handle that in the show. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But something big happens. And I don't know how they're going to handle that as far as when it's going to take place. But I will definitely be tuning into this. I was so quick to get through this series that I will probably be doing the same with this one. I think this was weekly. They would release new episodes, and I was there every week. I've talked about that before too, but I truly do appreciate the week by week releases instead of just dumping everything all at once. I want to watch an episode. I want to digest it. I want to think about it. I want to have something to look forward to instead of just mindlessly just sitting in front of a TV, clicking next episode, and kind of get lost in that. I want to be able to have that discussion and with like people at work. Oh, did you see last night's episode? No, what was it? And then you kind of talk about it, you know what I mean? Or they did see it and they're like, yeah, what about when this happened? And you have that connection as opposed to being like, yeah, I watched all of The Last of Us this weekend. It was all right. Like your expectations just drop drastically, I feel. Instead of having that like finale to look forward to, or the next episode if they leave you on a cliffhanger. I look back to when I was watching a show like Dexter, and how easy it was to just binge watch that show as opposed to taking it week by week. And I know that one was released on a week by week basis back when it was on Showtime, but I didn't watch it in that way. So there's that. Last of Us next year. There's no definite date with that. It'll be on Max, so if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed to that and check out season 1 because it's on there, and it is some of the best TV you'll watch. I guarantee that. Okay, last thing, and I'll let you guys go, is as of today, it is the 27th of September. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom has been out on the Switch for a day. It came out on a Thursday, and I don't own it yet, and I'll tell you why. In my city, and I tweeted about this, so if I'm just basically going to repeat what happened vocally. In my city, I have quite a few places I could have bought The Legend of Zelda from. I've got 2 GameStops, I've got a Best Buy, I've got 2 Targets, and I have 3 Walmarts. And I was at work yesterday morning figuring out when and where I was going to get this game. And I thought about maybe I can just stop at Walmart before I go to work because they open at 6 a.m. and I can just grab it then. And then I can just not have to worry about it later and I'll have it. And then I thought, well, don't do that. You should probably go to work first. You have a lunch break and you can just go get it then. So that's what I did. So as I was contemplating what to do, I decided that from my location, there's a Walmart that is less than 10 minutes driving distance away. So, you can get in your car, you can drive to this Walmart, go to the back, grab it, pay for it, grab some food because you didn't grab lunch that day, and then leave. And then you'll be good to go. So, that's what I did. I drove to Walmart, dealt with some crappy traffic. On the way there, I saw a vehicle that's wheel tire had fallen completely off. It was just sitting like that, and the police was there, and I drove past it. I looked at it, I'm like, oh my god, maybe life's not so bad for me. Got some issues and stuff, but, you know, you see things like that, and it kind of humbles you a little bit. Anyway, I get to Walmart, and I walk to the electronics department. There is one man behind the counter, and I look around everywhere else. There's nobody else in sight, which is fine. It's around noon on a Thursday. The store's not super duper busy. I get only having one person there. So I pass the counter and go to the video game cabinet where they keep all the games. And I go to the Switch one and I look at both sections that they have. Every game, I just eyeballed it as I'm going around. And there is no Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom there. If everything else, but no Echoes of Wisdom. And then my brain was like, hey, Garrett, this game just came out today. They probably have the games just behind the counter. That way they don't have to walk all the way to the cabinet every time to get it because it's a Legend of Zelda game. It's a popular game. They're going to be coming in droves to get it. So that's where it's at. No worries. I stand in line and there are 2 people in front of me. One person needed help with something out of a case. So the guy who was working there was very slow. And he waddled over to help the guy get something out of a case. There was another woman who was waiting in line. And she had like 2 things in her cart. I don't remember what she was buying. I'm just sitting there just starting to get impatient now. Because I'm just waiting. And in the back of my mind, I have this feeling like, you're not leaving with this game today. And I kept telling myself, nope, it's just back here. It's a Thursday release. It's got to be out today. I double-checked it online to make sure, and it was. The guy leaves. The woman gets helped. She leaves. I go up to the counter. The guy's like, how can I help you? And then I said, I would love to pick up the new Legend of Zelda game. And the guy puts his head down and goes, yeah, we have it, but we don't have anybody to put it out. We just don't have people to put it out. It will be available later. To which I said, oh. And I paused for a moment because I thought he was going to say something, and then he didn't. And I said, at this point, my agitation just skyrocketed. Then I said, well, that sucks because I wasted my entire lunch break coming here. And he said sorry, and I stormed off out of the electronics department, defeated and angry. So, my original thought was to just go grab some food and go to work. But no, that's not what I did, because I was irritated. I went to the store for a mission. The game is supposed to be out. Why is it not out? So I went to customer service. Believe it or not, there's only one guy standing in customer service. So I went to him. And I was very polite, like I always am. Aside from that last little bit where I was irritated. I'll apologize for that. Shouldn't act like that even if I'm irritated. Go to the guy. I said, hey, is there any way I could speak to a manager? And the guy's like, yeah, I can try to get one. That's exactly how he said it. So he grabs his phone and he beeps the speakers. And his phone had so much disturbance in it. I don't know if anybody heard him, but he said, can I get a manager up to customer service? Customer is waiting. Can I get a manager up to customer service? Customer is waiting. Thank you. And he hung up. And I said, thank you. Then I went over to the side out of the line and I waited. And I waited and I waited and I waited for 10 whole minutes. And not a single ounce of communication happened at that point. The guy didn't say, hey, do you want me to try again? Hey, I don't know where they're at. Nothing. So then I just left. I left the store in a huff, beyond frustrated that the people at this particular Walmart just could not perform their job the way that they're supposed to. And so now I don't have the game. And I was going to try to find some time. I may actually leave after this to go see if I can pick it up. Because I just want to play it. I just want to play the new Zelda game. That's all I want. I loved The Link's Awakening when they re-released that on the Switch. I loved the art style. I loved the updates they did for the game. Made it more fun. Made it more challenging. But it still retained everything else from that. And now you have Echoes of Wisdom, which is a brand new Legend of Zelda game. Where you play as Zelda. Which we did the trailer months ago when it came out, and it just looks great, and I want to play it. I usually don't pay full price for video games. I like to pay sale price, or I just don't get them. And Nintendo stuff is one of the few exceptions I make for this rule that I have for myself, because I want to support the properties I'm interested in. And as you can see behind me, I've got all my game stuff here. I've got a Zelda shelf right here. You can see my Zelda Monopoly. I've got all the amiibos. I've got the wood board from GameStop's pre-order for Tears of the Kingdom, which I still have to finish. I've got a big Majora's Mask back here. I've got the Game & Watch. I've got a bunch of stuff. I've got my Metroid shelf. I got Mario stuff up here. Pokemon, Splatoon. There's the Starlink from Ubisoft, which has the sweet Star Fox thing. Mega Man stuff. I got Transformers. I got more stuff up top too that you can't see on the camera. I like to support video games. This is my passion, basically, which is why I'm doing a podcast about it now. And all I wanted to do for today, honestly, was show those couple trailers and then give my first impression of Echoes of Wisdom. And I can't do that because Walmart dropped the ball. So I'm not supporting that Walmart specifically. We have 3 of them in the area. They are all within 15 minutes driving distance of each other. And the one that was closest to me at the time is the worst of the 3. It's always been the worst of the 3 as long as the 3 have been around. At one point, we only had 2 Walmarts, and it was the worst of the 2. And then the third one came in, and it was like, oh, this Walmart's great. And this one just doesn't do well. But its location was the only thing that was convenient. So I guess I learned my lesson to not trust it, to not go to that one, to just avoid that one at all costs. Unless I absolutely have to, I will not be visiting that Walmart anymore. And I don't know if it's the same in all of them. I guess I won't know because I didn't make the travels to the other ones. All I know is that it really put a damper on my day. So here's hoping that after this recording, I can actually get out of here and go pick it up and play a little bit tonight. That's my plan. So that is the episode, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for the subscription if you got it. If not, there's just a little button down there. You just hit subscribe. It'll let you know when the new videos come out. I really appreciate that. Make sure you are also checking out all of my buddies over at OddPods Media. They cover everything. They cover Weird Al. They cover what music you should listen to if you love music. They talk about beer. They play some games. They watch TV for you, and they also talk about things that fall in the middle. So they cover everything, and they're seriously some of the best people. They've been very supportive of me with all my different podcast changes and stuff like that. So make sure you're supporting them. So until next time,